Hello again, Jared Pitts here, and today I'm doing a bit of a unique video because I'm seeing a lot of new people learn about Dr. Ray Peat. And one of the first things that people learn when they start reading some of Dr. Peat's research is about omegas, omega fatty acids. And I think that it would be beneficial to help you understand exactly what is an omega fatty acid. Why are there numbers, etc., etc. So I'm just going to run through a couple of quick questions that might help clear some things up for you. So I have some questions here in a Google sheet with some questions to help me stay on track. So one, what is an omega fatty acid? So let me go over to just an easy Google omega fatty acid search. And immediately we see omega-3 fatty acids, right? This is what mainstream allopathic medicine is obsessed with because we're told they're essential fatty acids, all of this. So let me just clear some things up. Omega, what does that mean? That means the tail end of this chain, right? This is a long molecule, and at the very end, this is called the omega tail, okay? And so when we say omega-3 fatty acids, we're saying that the first unsaturated bond, right here, you can see there's two lines. It's not saturated. It's called unsaturated, right? So all of these omega fatty acids are what we call polyunsaturated fatty acids. Now some are monounsaturated, meaning there's only one double bond, like this, but most of them are multiple, so polyunsaturated. And so you can see each one of these points indicates a carbon atom. And so omega-3 fatty acids, 1, 2, 3, 3 carbons from the omega tail end is our first unsaturated carbon. Okay, and you can see we have a double bond because of that. And unsaturated just means it's not saturated with hydrogen atoms. And so it allows for this double bond. Okay? So then you can imagine if it's called an omega-6 fatty acid, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Okay, sorry, I did that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth carbon is where you would have the last unsaturated carbon. All right, so there's a couple of other numbers here. For example, you can see C18:3. So what do these mean? Well, 18, this first number, is the number of carbons in this chain. So if we were to count each one of these points, we would find 18 carbons, okay? And then this 3, and you could probably guess this, but there's going to be 3 unsaturated bonds. All right, so then you get down here to EPA, and you see it's 20 carbon atoms long and 5 unsaturated bonds. And we'll see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then once again, I can't see it here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is DHA. Okay? And we're told that these are essential. Well, let me go to, real quick, I had it up. Let me find it. Here it is, ChatGPT. Okay. So I just asked ChatGPT a very simple question. Are polyunsaturated fats or saturated fats more stable? And we get the answer. Saturated fats are generally more stable than polyunsaturated fats. This stability is due to the chemical structure of the fats. Saturated fats have no double bonds, right? We were just looking at that, between their carbon atoms, meaning they are less reactive to oxygen, heat, and light. This makes them more resistant to oxidation, which can lead to rancidity, right? Rancidity, that's not a good thing. So it's resistant to that. Saturated fats are. Or the formation of harmful compounds. Then we look, unsaturated fats, on the other hand, contain multiple double bonds, right? Poly meaning many, and unsaturated. This makes them more prone to oxidation, which means they can break down more easily when exposed to heat, light, or air, leading to the formation of free radicals and other potentially harmful products. Okay? So let me hop over to my spreadsheet, and this is my spreadsheet that I keep everything that I learn in regards to health. This is my medical spreadsheet. And so right here I have my omegas tab. And I know people use different software, and this is probably the worst software I could use for this, but this is what I started with, and I've kind of just stuck with it. So you can see saturated fats are not omega fatty acids because omega fatty acids have a double bond at the carbon the number indicates. For example, omega-6, linoleic acid, is an omega-6 fatty acid. And so because saturated fats do not have an unsaturated bond at any place from the omega chain or the omega tail end, then you can't call them omega fatty acids, right? They're just saturated fats. Arachidonic acid is another omega-6, okay, because its last unsaturated bond is at that 6th position, 6th carbon atom. And then we have our omega-3s. And then, for example, omega-9s. Now, these are not polyunsaturated, okay? These are monounsaturated, and so they have just one unsaturated bond. And so they are more stable than your polyunsaturated fatty acids. And so, for example, the primary component of castor oil, and I'm not going to say this right, but ricinoleic, I think that's probably right, acid, this is an omega that, I like to use because it's a monounsaturated. Then we have omega-7s. I believe this is a monounsaturated fatty acid. Yeah, what we would call a MUFA. Palmitoleic acid. This is one you find in sea buckthorn berry oil. Okay? And then you have something like palmitic acid, which is a saturated long-chain fatty acid. Okay? And so this is not an omega because it doesn't have any unsaturated bonds. So, I hope that helps. I hope that helps you understand why it's called omega. Okay? What do these numbers mean? And it'll help you understand this a little bit more easily going forward, right? And even something like ChatGTP, right? This is telling us that they are less stable. Well, Dr. Pete will go into the research and show you what that causes in the body. And so if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. I have a playlist called PUFA, and it's got a couple of videos in there of articles Dr. Pete wrote, and I'm just narrating them. To put this into audio format so that it makes it easier for people to be able to access this information, because I know people don't always have time to read it, okay? And people don't want to be listening to these AI voices either. And so I hope that you'll subscribe, like the videos, share with your family members that need this information, with your friends. Until next time, I hope you'll join me for my next video. Leave a comment letting me know if this was helpful, or if you have questions. I would love to try to help you in your health journey. Don't hesitate to leave a question in the comments. Until next time, God bless.